Welcome to The Hypnotist, the show that gives you inside access to cutting-edge hypnosis with real clients facing genuine issues. Brought to you by the hypnotherapist demanded by celebrities, CEOs, and even royalty, Adam Cox. These recordings took place live from Adam's clinic in London's world-famous Harley Street. This podcast features powerful hypnosis, so do not listen while driving or operating machinery. This recording is not suitable for those with epilepsy or severe mental health issues. So, get yourself comfortable and enjoy today's episode of The Hypnotist.
Hi, it's Adam here, and in this episode of The Hypnotist, you're going to be listening to a hypnosis session to facilitate a decision in the client that I was working with to become a non-smoker. This was a lady that smoked every now and then from her teenage years up to adulthood and experienced an aneurysm, a stroke that led to a coma. And when she came out of that coma, she made a promise to herself, the doctor, her family, that she would not smoke again because she knew at some level it was contributing to, let's say, a lack of the health and quality of life that she would want. In many ways, I think she interpreted what had happened as a second chance, because it could have gone very differently had she not been discovered so quickly. So this hypnosis session is really designed to tap into the fact that quite often smoking doesn't do what it promises. Many people start smoking in their teenage years or early 20s on the promise that it's going to help them in some way. Quite often the goalposts get moved. So originally it might be to fit in, to be cool, to rebel, to be defiant. Then it might be to deal with stress and anxiety and worries and difficult life or social elements. But a lot of the time it doesn't really deliver that. And there's always evidence of people around that are dealing with stressful things or anxious moments and aren't using cigarettes to cope. So partly it was reframing it that it doesn't really help in the way that it's designed. And secondly, that there would be a natural consequence of the version of her that smokes versus the version of her that wouldn't smoke. So it's about creating that compelling vision of the future to enable her to step into the identity of being a non-smoker. And actually the coma was used as a way to give powerful suggestions about her identity of being a non-smoker so that we can tap into that same feeling, that same resolve, that when she woke up of that coma, there was this resolution to really be that person, only this time have it for good. If you're listening to this and you smoke and you don't want to carry on smoking, maybe you get the sense that you know where this is going to take you in life. Hypnosis has proven to be very effective at making smokers non-smokers. So if that's of interest at all, there will be a link in the show notes that you can schedule a free consultation call with me. For now, though, find a quiet place to relax and enjoy the session. Take a deep breath in. As you breathe in, just imagine breathing in a resourceful feeling of relaxation. And as you exhale, just allow your eyelids to completely relax and to slow down that breathing. And as you exhale, just feel like tension, stress, and worries are just leaving your body in that outward breath, enabling you to go deeper and deeper relaxed. As you breathe in and breathe out, just allow tension to leave your body. Allow any feelings of hesitation, anxiety to just dissipate. And I want you to think about how sometimes behaviors and habits are built on beliefs that aren't even true. I want you to imagine going all the way back in time to yourself, perhaps as a teenager, observing the very first time that you started smoking. I want you to notice who you were back then, the resources you had access to, and maybe the ones you didn't. And I want you to look at the justification you had back then for smoking. Maybe it helped you to connect with friends, to feel part of a group. Maybe it gave you a feeling of independence or defiance. And I want you to get a sense that how many of those beliefs just weren't true. Isn't that how beliefs work? You believe things and you find evidence to support that belief system. And anything that contradicts it, isn't it easy to ignore? As a teenager, maybe smoking was cool, and yet you could see other people your age that were also cool that didn't smoke, but that didn't matter. You felt independent perhaps when you were smoking, but there were other people, maybe even more independent than you, and yet they didn't smoke. And maybe a true sense of being independent is not feeling the need to smoke to fit into a certain group of people. Maybe the paradox is that the very thing that it promises sometimes is the opposite of how things really are. I want you to get a sense that, knowing what you now know, what would you have said to that younger version of you before you had that first cigarette? What things would you have told them are total bullshit? Weighing up what it gives and what it takes away. Would you have told them that it makes sense to even start that very first time? And then I want you to follow that life. Because for a while you weren't a smoker. You were just someone that smoked. And then something happened where you felt it wasn't a choice anymore. It felt necessary. Maybe you saw yourself stressed and smoking helped. Saw yourself anxious and it helped with that anxiety. I want you to observe yourself at a period in your life where you felt that you were a smoker. And realize that that identity took away a lot of your choice because it now felt like something you needed to do. It felt like it was part of who you were. But that was never the truth. You've never been a smoker. You've just been a person that for certain parts of your life felt the need to smoke. But it wasn't the case that you actually needed to smoke. There were just times where you felt it was necessary to smoke. And I want you to imagine following that life all the way into adulthood and seeing that no one cigarette made you sick. No one cigarette affected your health. But just like mountains are created from years and years, millions of years of erosion, your health can be affected from cigarettes over a long period of time. And I want you to imagine you're observing from teenagehood to adulthood, seeing the slow erosion of your health from cigarettes sped up so you can notice the impact. Until it reaches a point in time where you can see yourself having some life-changing health event. And I want you to imagine observing it happen as it happened. Just seeing yourself like you're someone else. Observing maybe someone finding you, making sure you got to hospital. Now, of course, cigarettes weren't to blame, but I want you to ask yourself the question, did they help or did they hinder? Did they contribute in some way to affecting your health? And if you get a sense that knowing what you now know, you would have never started, and you would have stopped earlier than you did, just let me know by nodding your head. I want you to imagine that you're now in a hospital room, seeing yourself in a coma, seeing perhaps the tubes, the sensors, but also seeing there were loved ones around, by your bedside, wanting you to get through this. They had no idea whether you would or you wouldn't. But see how important it was to them that you experienced a recovery. I want you to get a sense that at this point in time, a reality check took place. You had a sense as to what cigarettes really meant for your life. You knew that they helped in some way to manage emotions, but they were taking more than they were giving. And in that period, you knew what was really true. That you don't need them. You don't want them. That's it. No more. Never again. I want you to imagine temporarily shifting perspective so you feel like you're in that bed, that hospital bed, feeling what it would feel like to be in a coma, but still hearing my words, still listening to my words. As I'm going to give you a series of hypnotic suggestions to tap into the powerful resources already within you, so that you know that you don't need cigarettes, that you are a non-smoker, and that smoking is in your past, not your future. And if your unconscious mind is ready and open to powerful new beliefs and suggestions about what smoking really means, let me know by nodding your head. That's right. Breathe how you would breathe if you were in a deep, deep trance. You are a non-smoker, and you feel proud of your decision to quit smoking. Every day you are becoming healthier and stronger as a non-smoker. Given the choice of breathing polluted air or clean air, you would choose to breathe clean air and to take care of your lungs. Smoking is a thing of the past, and you are now focused on living a healthy and smoke-free life. You are free from the addiction to smoking, and you're now totally in control of your choices. And every day that you don't smoke, your body is healing and rejuvenating. You feel confident in your ability to resist the urge to smoke and to stick to a promise that you made to yourself and your children that that's it. Never again. You deserve to live a long and healthy life. And I want you to imagine yourself in the future being a non-smoker and enjoying a long, healthy life with all of the wonderful things that brings. Your mind and body are now fully aligned in your decision to be a non-smoker. And you feel grateful for the support and resources that have helped you to quit smoking. And in a strange way, what if that bad thing that happened to you led to a chain of events where you became a non-smoker, that you lived maybe 10 or 20 years longer than you would had that bad thing not happened? Your health and well-being are your top priorities. You feel proud of yourself in this choice of being a non-smoker. You are stronger than your cravings. And you understand that cravings and withdrawals are a natural part of the transition to fully becoming a non-smoker. To begin with, you might feel like someone that wants to smoke but chooses not to. But very quickly that will become someone that doesn't want to smoke and doesn't need to. And that will eventually evolve into being a non-smoker that would never smoke no matter what the circumstances were. Take a deep breath in and breathe deeply and easily, feeling the freshness of the air in your lungs. I want you to get a sense of the example that you're giving your children, making this decision to be a non-smoker, but also a more powerful role model. That you are someone that, even if you don't get it right on the first or second attempt, you are someone that sticks to your promises. If your unconscious mind is ready to stick to your promises, let me know by nodding your head. Every day you are breaking free from the addiction of smoking, becoming a healthier and happier version of yourself. You are in control of your life, not cigarettes. What if the money, the time, the energy you save from smoking was to be reinvested in yourself? What if you were able to create healthy new habits to replace this old habit that not only means you don't get the health consequences of smoking, but you get the health benefits of your new habits? Over time, your skin gets clearer, your teeth are brighter, you feel better inside, and a time will come where you look back and you feel like becoming a non-smoker was the very best decision you ever made. Because it's about freedom. Freedom to travel, freedom to live, freedom to explore the world on your terms. And if you're ready to be that person, to step into that person, to fully align with being a non-smoker, let me know by nodding your head. I want you to imagine you're waking up from that coma, still in your imagination, surrounded by the people that you love the most. Hear the words leave your lips as you make a promise to them. Tell them that you don't need to smoke, you don't want to smoke. That's it. Never, ever again. Look at each of them in the eyes and make that promise to them individually. And tell them what you're going to do different. What you're going to do when you feel like you deserve a break. What you're going to do when you feel anxious or stressed. What you're going to do if you feel bored. all the things you used to be a trigger for cigarettes, let them know what you're going to do differently. Hear the sincerity in your words. And is there anything more powerful than the promise between a mother and their child? But I also want you to get a sense that you're putting something wrong right. And when you feel that you've made a promise that you're going to keep, and that you have different ways of meeting the previous needs, let me know by nodding your head. As of now, you are a non-smoker. So I want you to imagine it's a week from now and you're feeling stressed. And I want you to imagine what you would do differently to help you manage that stress. I want you to imagine it's 3 weeks from now and you're feeling a bit anxious. And what you would do to help you manage that anxiety. Imagine it's 7 weeks from now and you feel you really deserve a break, and what you do to reward yourself during that break. Imagine it's 3 years in the future and you're having the worst possible day, but feel like there is no need or temptation to smoke. Instead, you're doing things that actually will help. And then imagine perhaps going 15, 20 years in the future. And I want you to imagine perhaps there's grandchildren around or other family members. And you're feeling healthy and happy and full of energy. I want you to go forwards in time where you're seeing a grandchild. Perhaps think about smoking for the very first time. And I want you to imagine having a conversation with them. You've been where they are, but it's come full circle. I want you to let them know why it doesn't live up to its promise. Why it has the illusion of benefits, but actually it takes those benefits quickly. That there are many things in life that feel like they're a good idea, but they come with consequences. That in many ways smoking is like credit card debt. The illusion of fun and pleasure, but creating more and more pain and discomfort for the future. And you might not have any influence over this teenage child, but you do have influence over yourself. And if you feel that you are already a non-smoker, that you've made a promise that you're willing to stick to, and that you already know what you would do differently, let me know by nodding your head. I want you to think about the last time that you smoked and make the decision that that was the last time that you will ever smoke. You don't need it, you don't want it, it's now the past. You may have been a smoker in the past, but you are now a non-smoker, fully connected to that identity. And when all parts are connected to that identity, then it's time to wake up. And you will wake up refreshed, rejuvenated, with a sense of clarity, a sense of freshness, with a new lease of life, and a desire to take the final step of being a non-smoker. And that is to see out this few days of withdrawals and cravings. knowing that they are necessary. Because when you escape the prison, you have less desire to go back there. Take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your nose. Feel like you're returning to the present. Just wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes. All parts returning to the present as a non-smoker. I will count from 1 to 10, but you will awaken when you're ready and only open your eyes when you're fully connected to the identity of being a non-smoker. Starting to count. 1, 2, 3. Starting to wake up. 4, 5, 6. More alert. 7, 8. When you're ready. As a non-smoker, open your eyes. 9, 10. Wide awake. Wide awake. Wide awake.
Thank you for listening to The Hypnotist with Adam Cox, the show that gives you inside access to cutting-edge hypnosis with real clients facing genuine issues. To automatically receive the latest episodes, please subscribe. If you'd like to support the show, please share this episode with just one friend you think it could help. And if this episode helped you, please leave us a 5-star review.